Hello everyone, I don't know where to start, but I want advice from women who have gone through this. I would like to know if they solved it, how did they do it, please help me. I feel ashamed even though I don't give my real name, but the desperation of losing my family, my husband, my children weighs more. I'll call myself Sonia, I'm 38 years old, and I got married at 23. My oldest daughter is 14 years old. My husband is a very good, homely man, very concerned about his family, detail-oriented, and very hardworking. I know many will wonder why I cheated on him. Okay, let's go with the story. I'm a teacher and mother of 3 girls. My husband works a lot, but he takes the time to help me with my daughters. When I met him, I was a very attractive woman, had a good body, and trained for hours every day. I met my husband through my sister, they have been friends since school. I never liked him in those days, I had more handsome boyfriends, and he was completely the opposite. He wasn't overweight, he was rather slim. We started our relationship just a day after my sister Sylvia's birthday. She was happy to hear the news. They never stopped being best friends, even when my husband was preparing a surprise for me. My sister already knew everything my husband would do for me. I feel nostalgic when I remember those days. My chest hurts, and I feel short of breath. They were the best years of my life after my marriage and the birth of my daughters. After finishing university, my husband proposed to me. That day was one of the happiest days of my life. I love my husband with all my heart. I don't want to lose him, I want my family together as before. I can't stop crying while writing this. I got a job at a school in my city. My husband started a business that was going very well. We had more than enough to live without problems and more. My first daughter came, she looks just like her father, has the most beautiful caramel-colored eyes, just like my husband's. We were happy, my family meant everything to me. Then my second daughter came, she's very similar to me, has my blonde hair. Problems started after my third daughter, I fell into postpartum depression. I really didn't know what was happening to me. Later, I understood what the problem was, but it took 3 years to try to solve things. I thought going to therapy would mean admitting that I couldn't take care of myself or my family. I spent all that time without going to work, taking care of my daughters, and then lying on the bed crying or watching soap operas. My husband told me that for the sake of my family and myself, I should go to therapy. My husband accompanied me to the sessions, but it seemed not to work. Then we changed therapists, and she told me that the problem was that my body had changed after my 3 daughters. I thought about it, and she was right. I didn't look like before, and the clothes didn't fit me anymore. And I was still a young woman. I started doing exercises at home and eating healthier. My daughters and my husband supported me all the time, I felt their love always. I wasn't alone, they were my support. Weeks passed, and a friend convinced me to join a gym she went to. I liked the youthful atmosphere, the guys and girls were very friendly. So I set out to regain my old figure, I wanted to be like before. Now I know that was impossible because I already had 3 daughters, and the years had passed. But I let myself be influenced by my friend and the guys at the gym. I dedicated myself to that purpose, even talked to my husband about it, and he said it was okay if it made me feel better. Now I wish I could go back and tell him not to let me go to the gym, that it would cause him the greatest pain of his life. 4 months passed, and the results were there, I looked better. That encouraged me. This part is the hardest to write. It hurts too much to remember what happened next. When we didn't get out of the car, she looked for me and found me with the guy in the act in the motel parking lot. The parking lot was full of cameras, so they recorded me. My sister approached crying to hit the car. I heard her voice shouting to get out of the car. God, I thought. I got dressed and got out of the car. She shouted, "How could you? You have a wonderful family, a husband who loves you, 3 beautiful daughters. I can't have children, that's why my husband left me. But you have everything to be happy. If you destroyed it for a kid who could be your younger brother." Those words hit me. I begged her not to say anything. I swore that everything ended there, that I would never go back to the gym or see the instructor. "Please don't tell my husband anything." I knew it was impossible for her to stay silent. She shouted, "Since when? Since when have you been cheating on your husband?" From there, every word she said hurt me. It wasn't easy to say almost 4 months. She cried even more inconsolably. She turned around and headed to her car. I tried to stop her, grabbing her arm, but she slapped me. I stood there as she walked away. The guy then took my things out of his car, threw them in the parking lot, and left. I called my friend and told her everything. I still couldn't fully grasp what I had done, but I knew I would soon. She tried to console me with silly words, trying to justify what I did, but there was no way I could explain anything. The hours passed, the uncertainty of whether my sister would tell my husband was killing me. What should I do? Call him? What would I say? I thought about my daughters. That's when the reality of my actions hit me with my friend's words. She said, "You need to find a good lawyer. Zach will ask for a divorce, fight for your daughters, for the house, and for a good alimony." I said, "Divorce, fight for my daughters." I cried as much as I could. My conscience returned after months. I begged my friend to take me home. I was ready to face whatever, but I wouldn't lose my family. When I arrived, no one was home. My daughter's things were gone. I called my husband, but he didn't answer. I called my older daughter, my sister, but no one answered. I went up to my room and cried. I sent voice messages apologizing, asking for a chance, but no one responded. I panicked. I felt awful. I thought about everything from the gym, trying to erase some of my guilt. They must be at my sister's house, I thought. I told my friend to take me there. We went, and the lights were on. I tried to approach quietly, and I heard my husband crying. I looked through the window, and they were in the living room. He was crying, and my sister was hugging him. His crying was heartbreaking. What have I done, dear God? I didn't have the courage to confront him at that moment. What would I say? I went home to cry. I called my mother and told her everything. She was shocked by what I told her, but I needed to relieve my guilt somehow. I cried myself to sleep. The next day, my sister came for some of my daughter's things. I opened the door, and she said, "Zach doesn't want to see you. You'll receive the divorce papers in 15 days or more. You can see the girls at my house when Zach isn't there. Don't dare take them away, because due to your behavior this past year, no judge will have pity on you. The parking lot has several cameras, you won't be able to deny anything." My soul left my body. My sister was like my executioner, showing no mercy. "Please, I have to talk to him," I said. "Go find him at the store if you want, but don't make a scene. And in the afternoon, after your gym, you can go see the girls," she said. It hurt that she said that. I've already quit the gym, I'll never set foot in one again. "Do whatever you want," she said, leaving with many of my daughter's things. I felt so much sadness when I closed the door. I decided to go see my husband. I called him, and he finally answered. "Hello, love. We need to talk," he said. "At the restaurant on 6th Street, I said. I arrived as fast as I could. He was already there. I saw him, his eyes red from crying. He saw me and lowered his head, not looking at me anymore. "Hello, Zach. How are you?" I said. He didn't say anything, but I saw his tears fall. He started crying silently. I spoke to him. I told him everything. I apologized, swore that everything would change, promised even the impossible. But he didn't say anything. He looked at me, wiped his tears, got up, and said, "I'll send you the divorce papers." I froze and watched him walk away. How many times can you feel your soul leaving your body? How many times can you regret what you did? I've apologized thousands of times in my room. I've shouted so loud into my pillow. I've begged God for a chance, just one, please God, help me. Just one chance, and I'll do things right for the rest of my life. I want to sell my soul to. I'll do anything to have my family back. What can I do now? I look back on the days and wonder angrily, how could you be so stupid? What the hell were you thinking, wanting to be young again? How could you turn your back on your daughters, on your husband? I wish I could open my chest and rip out my heart. I wish my husband would insult me, mistreat me. I deserve it. I want him to hurt me. Maybe then we'll be even. But he didn't say anything. That kills me inside. I want to feel his anger. I'm afraid his silence will be worse than his anger. Today, I'll see my daughters. I don't know what face to put on. I don't know what to say to them. My older daughter is the one who will give me the most trouble, I know. She would practically kill for her father. And the little ones, dear God, who told them that? I looked at my sister, and she said, "The girls heard us talking, here and with me. I'm sorry for you." My older daughter said, "I told them everything. Do you think I'm stupid? For months, I knew about your lover. You acted like a lovesick teenager, you embarrassed me." I said, "Sweetheart, can we talk privately?" My daughter looked at my sister, and my sister said, "Go, love. Call me if something happens." I was surprised. Since when were my sister and my daughter so close? We went to the shed, sat down, and I said, "I missed you, darling." She didn't say anything. She just mentioned things she had experienced that I didn't even know about. I'm dead. I feel that way. I want to embrace my memories. There's nothing I can say to my daughter except, "I'm sorry, sweetheart." My sister came out and said, "It's time, love, your classmates are coming." My daughter had a group project that was more important than me. My daughter's time is no longer mine. I looked at my sister with anger and said, "I know what you're doing. You want to take my children away from me. You want to take my family away from me." She said, "No, you gave it to me. You gave me your family to live your adventure. You abandoned your family when Sophia was born, but you never realized it. You lived in your world and your novels. You abandoned your husband, your daughters long before you think. And you never realized when I took your place. It's been over 3 years since I've been in your family's life. It was never my intention to take your place, but your family needed me. I'll never understand how you could change your daughters and your husband. I would do anything to earn my family's forgiveness. I love you," I said before he hung up. He didn't respond. I have 2 days to plan what I'll say. I have to make my sister look like a manipulative and resentful person for losing her husband and not being able to have children. I've had conversations with my beautiful daughters, but they've been very brief. It hurts that they're so short, but I've conditioned them to be that way. My eldest daughter doesn't respond to my messages or calls. The worst part is that her 15th birthday is in 3 weeks. My daughter Debbie reminded me. She said, "Mom, Helen says she doesn't want you to come to her 15th birthday because you'll